Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Arctic Pupper Show. I am your host, Arctic Ghost, and this week I am bringing you Red Deck wins again. It has changed a little bit. I think it's actually pretty well positioned in the format right now, the way I look at it, and I think it's just something I should be looking at. The build has changed a tiny bit. This is basically as close to Littlefield's build from the Community Pulper Challenge as you can get. And I think if you want to play red decks, I think this deck is great. Now, this deck is, of course, not burn. This is a more creature-based deck. Do I think that this deck is better than Goblins right now? I actually do. The reason for that is with Electrickery and Nausea effects being so prevalent, even to the point of being main decked, I think that a deck like this is really where you want to be. If you notice, from the time I first made this deck, there aren't as many X1s. Mog Flunkies is not here anymore. This is more low to the ground, just, balls to the wall, bash your face in. With that said, let's just check out the list, break it down piece by piece, and we'll get through it. Since this is Red Deck wins, pretty straightforward. It's what you see is what you get. As far as the one-drops go, you have the usual Mog Conscripts, and you have the Goblin Cohort. These are, basically your one-mana 2/2s. You also have Jackal Familiar, which is actually much better in this deck because you have so many haste guys on turn 2. You do have Goblin Bushwhacker, but he's more of a 2-drop. Now, the cool thing is, it's actually a good idea to go turn 1, like 1 mana 2/2, into turn 2 Bushwhacker swing for 4. You're just trying to bring your opponent down from 20 to 0 in as little time as possible. It's not like Goblins where you're trying to combo out with Bushwhacker because you have so many X1s. This is a deck that just wants to use Bushwhacker as quickly as possible. As far as the 2-drop goes, you have Mud Brawler Cohort, a great 2-mana, basically a 2/2 with haste. You're always going to have another permanent, most likely. Valley Dasher is a good 2-mana 2/2 with haste. And then Porcelain Legionnaire, this is one of the newer cards. A really good 2-mana 3/1, because you're never going to cast this for 3 mana, because, well, you only play mountains. You don't play any plains. Can't ever cast it for its white cost. So it's always going to be a 2-mana 3/1. The big thing is, it's got First Strike. Card's really good. Then you have Goblin Heel Cutter, basically a 3-drop, but also can be a 4-drop. This is great. Now, there are 4 of these, which might seem like a lot in a 17-land deck, but you always want to have them because the nut draw is to go turn 1, turn 2, play 2 more, or another guy, and then just do this, and suddenly you're getting in for a bunch of damage a turn. And in a format where Seagate Oracle and, just these wall-type creatures in the beginning of the early turns are so prevalent nowadays, Goblin Heel Cutter is really good at just breaking through, so that's that. There's only 17 mountains. You don't want any lands that come into play tapped. And as far as the burn spells, you have 4 lightning bolts and 4 chain lightnings. Just you want as many bolt effects as possible. You have 1 fire blast as your big finisher, and then you have 2 mutagenic growth as basically just another free type of bolt effect. You do have these 6 cards, but the thing I love about this deck is it takes advantage of Phyrexian mana, which, if your deck can take advantage of any Phyrexian mana card, is great. Pretty stock list, basically. As far as the sideboard goes, you got 3 Electrickery if you need that effect. You have Forge Devils. I really haven't found too many decks where this is actually good against, but I think it's just, lack of running into matchups where this card would be good. This card is it's good against things like Goblins, Stompy, Elves, things like that. I just haven't really run into too many of those decks. Gorilla Shaman against Affinity. I think this is just better than Smash the Smithereens, though I could be wrong, because in this deck, Smash the Smithereens fills a different role in that it's another bolt effect to go to your opponent's face. So, let's see. Raise against things like Tron and what have you. You don't really need too many lands. You really only need like 2 or 3 lands to function. Flaring Pain against Cop Red, and then another Mutagenic Growth in case you need the type of effect against the, decks that play burn-based damage. Things like that. So that is pretty much the deck. We're gonna run this through a couple of test matches, see how it runs, see what it does, and I will be right back. Thank you so much for watching.